awards to present today. Our first award is the Rolapp Award. This is presented in honor of the late Rich Rolapp, who served as the AHC president from 1974 to 1993. This award is presented to a member of the U.S. Congress who has been a great supporter of the horse industry. The recipient of this award is selected by the AHC staff and leadership based on sponsorship of key legislation and their accessibility to our staff and our members. As well, as we all remember, the last Congress dedicated much of its time to deal with COVID and its devastating impacts. No family or business was unaffected. Farmers, ranchers, and equine service providers were especially hard hit with diminished income, worker shortages, supply chain disruptions, and gaps in healthcare services. Rising from this troubling environment were a few leaders in Congress who met that challenge and directed resources toward patching those holes left in those families, communities, and the economy. And our Rolapp Award this year goes to one such leader. This year's award is a little bittersweet, however, because we are presenting this award posthumously to Representative Jackie Walkowski, who died as a result of a traffic accident on August 3rd of 2022. The representative is from Indiana's 2nd District from 2012 to 2022, and that district is in northern Indiana and encompasses the cities of South Bend and Elkhart. She was the daughter of a firefighter and a small business owner, and she learned the value of public service and hard work at a very young age. She became the first in her family to graduate from college. She began her career as a crime reporter and later worked as a development director to raise funds for Indiana colleges and universities. And shortly after marrying her husband, the couple moved to Romania as missionaries and founded an agency to help provide food and medical supplies for impoverished children there. She began her political career in 2004 when she was elected to the House of Representatives for her state. And as a member of Congress, she was the ranking Republican on the House Ways and Means Subcommittee and worked on worker and family support. It was from that position that she threw out lifelines from Congress to families, farms, and small businesses. She promoted legislation which helped extend the Paycheck Protection Program safety net to many in our industry, and she advocated for tax relief and promoted improvements to quality of life in rural communities with better access to health care, broadband, and education. We are privileged and honored to recognize her for this, and her family is unable to attend today, but they did want you to know that they are so excited to receive this award in her memory, and they said that she loved animals and this would be very special to her. So Bridget Shea, our government affairs person, is going to come up and accept this award on behalf of the family.
Just as we did, we've been in contact with the family, and it's obviously been a very sad experience for them, and they're just thrilled by this. They said that she loved animals and rural life was very important to her, so they're very proud, and we're very proud that we were able to memorialize thank you, memorialize her. Thank you.
Okay, our second award is the Hickey Award. This is named in honor of the past AHC president, James J. Hickey Jr., which many of you probably knew. He served as the president from 1993 to 2016. And this award is presented to an individual who has been a great supporter of the industry and the American Horse Council. And of course, everyone knows this year's award winner is Dr. Jerry Black, and he's no stranger to all of us. He was raised in a farming and ranching community in New Mexico. He graduated from Colorado State University, and he started Pioneer Equine Hospital in 1973, along with another partner. The hospital has since emerged as a 7-doctor referral center concentrating on clinical orthopedics and surgery. In 1995, he and his wife Melinda built a second business, Valley Oak Ranch, which was a breeding farm for cutting and reining horses. And it grew from 3 stallions breeding 75 to 100 mares a year to 12 stallions breeding 300 to 400 mares a year. And I'm going to pause here and say, Dr. Black never does anything small. It always goes big. So Melinda was primarily responsible for running the breeding farm while he was busy traveling around doing all these other things in the industry, including being the president of the American Association of Equine Practitioners, his ongoing involvement in his veterinary practices, and he decided he was going to retire from practice, not so much, and they left the breeding farm, but he didn't retire from horses. So he decided to pursue a new role in the equine science program for the undergraduate director at Colorado State University in Fort Collins. And he was recently honored by Colorado State's Alumni Association as the Distinguished Alumni in 2011, I think is right, and for the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. He is recently a visiting professor at Texas Tech School of Veterinary Medicine, and he has been involved with the Pacific Coast Cutting Horse, AVMA, National Cutting Horse, California Veterinary Medical Association. He spent a long time volunteering at AAAP. He was their president in 2021. He was our board chair from 2013 to 2016. So since this award is what's named after Jay Hickey, I had to call Jay. Jay, Dr. Black's receiving this award. Can you come to Colorado? No. Okay, but I'm going to send you a quote. So here's what he sent me. Dr. Black was chairman of the American Horse Council at an opportune time. He had been involved for years prior to that, serving as the chair of the Welfare Committee and vice chair on the board. He brought a broad background and experience in the horse industry to AHC, which was much needed. Indeed, his background was unique. He was the first veterinarian to chair the AHC board. He bred Western and performance horses. He was a leader in AAEP, A2HA, and NCHA. He had knowledge of Western sports horse. He knew welfare issues. He knew the entire industry and all of its leaders. And we needed that broad experience, networking, and policy knowledge. And Jerry provided that in spades. He personified AHC's mission, which is to serve the entire horse industry in the public policy arena and to promote it. In addition, Jerry had a calm and even manner. I'll pause there for a second. Which is always a factor in an association with such diverse members. He answered the call at the right time, and he led us well. And he was great to work for and work with, and an important asset at a really critical time. Thank you, Dr. Black, for all you have done for the American Horse Council. So, Dr. Black.
Gosh, thanks, Julie. When Julie contacted me and said that I was to receive the Hickey Award, I said, gosh, this is really unexpected, but what a nice honor to do. As you can tell, Jay and I were great friends. We worked together a long time, since mid-90s, actually. And it was just a great, we talked to each other a lot through the years. We had a kind of an understanding of each other's personality and where we were going with some of the issues in the Horse Council. So it was just a great honor to receive this award. And actually, Jay called me at the end of last week, and we had about a 15-minute call. Of course, he's doing well, and he's enjoying retirement. He's trying to stay active socially with his friends there in Washington, D.C., so it was great to hear from him. But I'd like to, Julie, thanks for that sort of long introduction, but I think the one thing that I want to say is that what was so rewarding for me is to get to know all of you people and get to know the rest of the horse industry. You know, I pretty much grew up in a Western discipline. I thought the fanciest horses in the world were team roping horses for a very long time. Kind of had my eyes open when I went to Colorado State University and saw there was actually things called show horses and that type of thing. But I just had wonderful experiences. You know, the practice there in Nome, California was so diverse. We had every kind of horse imaginable that we worked on. And my first partner unfortunately passed away 5 years after we formed the partnership, but he was a thoroughbred race veterinarian. He was Charlie Howard's resident veterinarian for Seabiscuit. And so the first surgery I ever did was taking a carpal chip out of a racehorse under an oak tree on the grass. So that was back in those days. I want to tell you though, I did it with cat, gown, and mask and the whole bit. But at any rate, it's been a great journey, and it's led to a lot of different opportunities for me, and I just am very thankful for this.
So our third award is the Ness Award, and this is named in honor of the late Marjorie Ness of New Jersey. She was a longtime and lifetime leader and friend to the horse industry. This award is presented to the individual that best emulates the dedication and commitment that Marjorie had to the improvement of the horse industry at the state level. And this year's recipient hails from the state of Texas. This is Dr. Chelsie Huseman. I hope you guys have had an opportunity to meet her. For the past 7 years, she has served on faculty in the Department of Animal Science at Texas A&M University. Her mentor and her department head considers her one of the most outstanding young professionals in Texas agriculture. She served the department and equine industry in many capacities as an extension faculty member. Her talents has been utilized all over the state, nationally and internationally, on all fronts, including academia and the industry. He said, I wanted to personally say how much I appreciate her contributions to state education that have largely focused on generating programs and resources to revive youth and adult interest and support of the horse industry. Her depth of knowledge in educating all levels of learners is impressive and has been a tremendous benefit to our state. Her focus is on targeting educational endeavors that support one of the largest state horse industries by welcoming horse enthusiasts and inviting them into a culture of learning amid declining industry participation. She is also on the forefront in developing new technological advances that provide convenient and quality resources for the ease of access by learners. Her online equine reproductive management short course has provided Texans and beyond a premier online learning experience without having to leave the farm unattended. She has developed and sustained many educational programs in Texas, and she is an outstanding contributor in the fields of extension, teaching, and research. The Texas A&M Summer Horsemanship School program just surpassed its 50th year and has seen expansion growth in grassroots education under her leadership the past 6 years. Most recently, she secured an industry-funded grant to design and implement the Texas 4-H Homes for Horses. This unique program serves to connect 4-H youth with the opportunity to work towards solving the at-risk horse problem in Texas through education, outreach, and adoption. Since its inception in 2021, it has 24 youth with at-risk horses in Texas, resulting in all 24 getting adopted into new homes and a profound increase in awareness for this population of horses. Lastly, her scholarly activity has greatly enhanced the industry in Texas, and this past year, she one-handedly somehow managed to unite 12 industry partners to raise $35,000 to secure Texas Equine Industry Economic Impact Study that we're doing this year. And I just take my hat off to her because I don't know how she pulled that one off. He went on to say, "We believe this will have a profound industry and will serve numerous entities in quantifying the importance of horses and horse activities in Texas." And she was instrumental in our working group as we were devising the horse owner survey that we recently distributed. So, Marjorie.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you to the American Horse Council in one, offering these awards, but also selecting me to be a recipient of one of them. When I was considering that I might be asked to talk, I really was at a loss because words really fall short when it comes to expressing, the gratitude of your heart. But I'll try my best. A lot of those amazing things that we've done in Texas are really a reflection on the wonderful individuals and organizations who have been willing to collaborate with me. I've been in this role for a short period of time, since 2019, but to be able to achieve those wonderful and impactful things really is those collaborations, and a lot of those faces are in this room. And so I want to thank you for working with me and working towards initiatives that have helped our state and the horse industry. And then I would finally just like to thank, on a personal level, my husband. Bless his heart, he is at home with 2 boys under the age of 3 for 8 days while I'm doing 2 conferences. So please say a little prayer for that man. He has always supported me in all of my endeavors, and I love him so dearly. So thank you.
Okay, so I'm down to number 4, and I'm going to try to contain myself for this one. So this is a brand new award this year. This is the American Horse Council's Champion Award. This is being presented to an AHC member, and that has demonstrated extensive and exemplary advocacy for the industry and the association. And of course, this year's recipient is our good friend, Gary Carpenter. Before I start these remarks and say, he thinks he's retiring, and he's not. Sorry. Gary's career in the equine industry is both extensive and diverse. His current position is the commissioner at the National Reining Horse Association, and involves just the latest group to which he brings a unique combination of experience, knowledge, and passion for horses and the worlds they touch. His resume includes stints at multiple breed and equine disciplinary groups. These included AAEP, the Arabian Horse Registry and Trust, the American Quarter Horse Association, the Jockey Club, and Colorado State University's equine programs. Now, after all that, if he hasn't figured out that this industry is full of crazy people and he kept staying, I just don't understand. Okay. So suffice to say, it all started when a little boy who grew up in a small town in Texas, loving horses and everything they involved, and one of his earliest and fondest memories was feeding 3 bars and going on a class trip to visit Bueno. After that, he was just hooked for life. As a youth, he was active in Future Farmers of America, 4-H, quarter horse youth activities. He competed on championship horse judging teams at Colorado State University when he went there for college, and later coached there. He and his wife, who is an equine journalist and author, encouraged and supported their daughters, Rachel, Abby, Blair, and Emily, and I believe at least 3 of the 4 are here today, and we're excited about that. And he got them hooked too, so they got involved in showing horses and participating. Following college, he went to the Arabian Horse Registry, later the Trust, and in 1990 he began a 10-year journey as CEO of AAUP. That led him to the Jockey Club, and then from there he returned back to Texas to fill a position at AQHA. After 8 years in Amarillo, he returned to CSU to serve as an industry outreach and liaison director for the equine science program, which his responsibilities there included managing the Legends of Ranching Performance Horse Sale, teaching classes, advising students, and promoting the program. He continues to keep a hand in at CSU as chair of their Equine Advisory Committee, and notably, he worked with others to turn the Temple Grandin Equine Facility into a reality. His accomplishments at each of these positions are very impressive, and if you know him, you know he brings his heart to this and everything that he does. At AAEP, he encouraged its vision to focus on health and welfare for horses, and he helped to create and grow several programs, including the AAEP Foundation and the world-renowned On Call program, which provides veterinarians to explain horse health challenges to equine event telecasters. While at AQHA, he served as their racing director and was instrumental in the development and renovation of the Quarter Horse Hall of Fame and Museum, and he strongly believes preserving the stories and the histories of great horses and equestrians is key to showcasing the impact horses have on their lives. In his current position of nearly 10 years at the National Reining Horse Association, he has dedicated to growing the sport of reining, along with his amazing staff, has led a new office and Hall of Fame location, strong membership, and explosive increases in sponsorship and prize monies. And I will tell you, occasionally when I read a press release about the latest grant of money or funds that he's come up with, I call him and say, how do you do this? How do you find that money? He's also been spearheading an upgrade in their information technology platform, Rainer Suite, to provide fast, effective information to their members. Throughout his career, he has served the American Horse Council in many capacities. He was the chair of both the Animal Welfare Committee and the Horse Show Committee, and a member of the Council's Government Affairs Advisory Committee and the Racing Committee. In addition, he served on the boards of the Interscholastic Equestrian Association and the U.S. Pony Club. He is a certified association executive with the American Society of Association Executives, and in 2020, AAEP recognized him for his leadership and dedication to the industry by naming him as the George Stubbs Award recipient. In 2016, he received the American Horse Publications Equine Industry Visionary Award, recognized for his ingenuity, service, and innovation across the industry. And in 2023, he was recognized by Oklahoma City's Convention and Visitors Bureau as their hometown hero for positive impact on the city through his work at the National Reining Horse Association. Now, look up there to the far right. He and his wife are taking on a new endeavor. They have purchased the old Wortley Hotel Bed and Breakfast in historic Lincoln, New Mexico, where they are making their home and plan to spend lots of time in the saddle during retirement, along with enjoying their sons-in-laws and their 5 grandchildren. But rest assured, I'm not letting him get away with too terribly. So, congratulations, Mr. Carter.
You have the projector light here?
No, no, check. No,
Yeah.
let's go to I'm not important.
Thank you, Julie. When I told Mr. Foley last night, I don't know why I'm getting this award. I don't know what the responsibilities are. I don't know what the qualifications are or any of that, but here I am. Thank you very much. Since it's made up, that tells you a lot about the precedent that I'm not setting. In May of 1990, when I was leaving the Arabian Horse Trust to go to AAP, Bill Skevy, who a lot of y'all in here know, was sort of roasting me. He said, Gary's ambition is to work for every organization listed in the horse industry handbook. And I missed the Saddlebred Association in Colorado, but I got several more. I want to introduce my family. You know, when I was much younger, I thought that confirmation and disposition were the real keys to a successful relationship, and it's really tolerance. So, Marion, stand up, please. And 3/4 of our girls are here. Rachel, wave at them, Rachel. Rachel's healthcare administration. Blair, works for Black Dog Marketing here in Denver, and Abby, people say, how'd your family turn out? And I always say, well, only one of them's working for an association. Abby works for the Arabian Horse Association. And Emily's not here. She's got a very young son, and I was reminded she's not here because of the difficulty of lactation and travel, and that reminded me, the first 5 years of our marriage, there was mostly lactation and gestation. That was our activity. So I had to, thinking about this award, though, it's been such a labor of love. I love the Horse Council. I love, it's not that I can't make up my mind. I love everything you can do with a horse. And, believe it or not, I like to ride too, which is part of my retirement plans. But I was thinking back on, I'm fortunate to have known both Warner Jones and Ed Honan. And those two guys, as the story goes, there was a tax act being passed that would have been very perilous for the industry. I think this was 1968. And they got together. I think Ed was president of AQHA then, and Warner Jones, very involved with Churchill Downs. And to tell you about the kind of guys they were and what this was founded on, Ed Honan told me a story once about, he was a heavy construction guy, built Fort Carson and all that. He had a guy that was running a road grader, and Ed wasn't particularly happy about how he was doing it. So Ed challenged him. The guy got down off the grader, and they had a fist fight. And Ed was a big, tough guy. I mean, I didn't know him until he was 75 years old, but he was still a big, tough guy. Of course, he whipped this guy, and he goes heading off, and Ed says, where the hell are you going? He said, well, I'm going to draw my wages. He said, you can't quit just because we had a little disagreement. And then Warner Jones, he didn't tell me this story, Gary Lavin told me this story, but as it goes, back pre-LASIX, the racetrack practitioners at Churchill worked on farms in the afternoon and evening, and this was the very infamous Dr. Alex Harthill had been out to his place to deliver a foal. Well, it didn't go very well, and Harthill had to do a fetotomy, so when he left the farm at 2 o'clock in the morning, he was just covered in blood. And the story goes that Warner Jones called the police and said, there's a man bleeding here in a 1968 Cadillac. There's been a murder. He's covered in blood. So that's the kind of people who started this deal. And my point to you is never weaken. There may not be many of us, but it's a worthy fight, and I commend you for taking it on.
Okay, so fair warning. This is our last award, and this is a new award. It's called the Unity Award, and it's being presented by the United Horse Coalition. And the winner of this inaugural award must, 1, be an active member of the United Horse Coalition for several years, take initiative in being involved in and working towards programs that promote responsible ownership, breeding, and/or programs that support horses at risk or in transition and their owners. They also must use industry relationships to work collaboratively to strengthen and promote the mission of the United Horse Coalition. So Ashley Harkins, our director, is going to come up and introduce our recipient. But before she speaks, we have a little video to play, and I want to give you.
You'll let her speak first.
Oh, you think so? Okay. I just want to warn you, get the tissues out. It's
That's why I will play that on.
You may get it.
All right, so for our first time presenting this award, I really had a hard time choosing one of the many organizations that are so deserving of this award. However, when I thought about what it means to be united in this industry towards helping at-risk horses, Days End Farm Horse Rescue embody the spirit of the unity that we seek. Through one of their programs called Maryland Equine Transition Service, so METS for short, Days End Farm provides a perfect example of an owner assistance program that utilizes an all-hands approach within the industry to ensure that owners are able to find responsible options and assistance programs when they're in need. I'd like to welcome Brittany Vallow. She'll be accepting this reward on behalf of the staff at the Days End Farm Horse Rescue. May you set a shining example for the others to follow.
Thank you very much. My name is Brittany Vallow. I'm the Operations Director at Days End Farm Horse Rescue. And I have a little written speech. I'm not good at winging it. And when you're representing a whole organization, I wanted to make sure I wrote it down. But it's my great pleasure and honor to accept this award from the United Horse Coalition on behalf of everyone at Days End Farm, and most importantly for the horses. At DEFR, we measure our impact in many ways. The number of horses saved from cruelty and neglect, the number of second chances afforded through adoption and transition, the number of equine advocates reached through our educational programs, the hours logged by our dedicated volunteers, the dollars raised by our generous donors, and more abstractly through the esteem of our partners in the equine welfare industry. Though our efforts are not for reward or recognition, being the first-time recipient of the UHC's Unity for Horses Award is a concrete reminder that together we can make a difference. Over 30 years ago, our founder, Kathy Schwartz-Howe, rehabilitated her first horse and quickly realized that rehab was the end solution to a much larger issue. And to make an even bigger impact would require a multi-pronged approach aimed at the roots of the problem. Thus, the mission of DEFR, ensuring quality care and treatment of horses through intervention, education, and outreach, was born. Today, DEFR is known for its exceptional quality of care of horses in critical condition and an over 90% success rate for rehab and eventual adoption. Through our close partnerships with local law enforcement agencies and national humane societies, in its existence, DEFR saved over 3,000 horses suffering from abuse or neglect, giving them a safe place to land and a second chance at finding a loving home. But rehab is the reactive approach to neglect, and we put just as much effort into proactively preventing the issue of neglect in the first place. In 2022, we saw close to 2,000 individuals participate in our various educational programs, field trips, tours, classes, and clinics. And reaching out into the community, we strive to raise awareness about the challenges equines face and provide support for struggling horse owners. At the beginning of 2022, we were honored to absorb the Maryland Equine Transition Service from the Maryland Horse Council Foundation. It continues to gain traction and trust within the community as being readily available, non-judgmental service to owners who can no longer keep their horses. By providing these owners with responsible options and assistance, we're reducing the risk of neglect, preventing the need for rescue, and lightening the burden placed on facilities already over capacity. Most of this assistance we provide is through direct placement from owner to owner. However, we also provide financial assistance more closely with equine industry professionals to make humane euthanasia and disposal attainable to owners. In 2022, 147 owners reached out from Maryland and surrounding states requesting our assistance with a total of 259 horses. Of those 147 owners, every single one received our assistance, whether it was directly through our program services, brainstorming with them ways that they could keep their horses, or referring them to other resources. Of the 42 horses directly assisted through the program, we provided 4 with end-of-life financial assistance and 25 were successfully transitioned into new homes, ensuring their safety and bringing their owners peace of mind. So far in 2023, we've already taken 43 new horses into our facility, which is typically our average intake for total for one entire year. This reminds us that equine welfare is still a very real and pressing issue, but our efforts, our programs, and outreach are making an impact. Looking around this room, being recognized by the UHC for our collaboration within the industry is a reminder that together we can make a difference and be a strong voice for the horses. Thank you.
Is the
Oh, you're right there, okay, great. Sure, where do you hold it? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I'm used to that. Perfect. Great. Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
When I first arrived here, I wasn't sure what to make of this place. There's a quiet peace here that lays over an uncertain future. This is not a story about me. It's about all of us. There are many untold stories behind these wooden fences. Most are written on our faces. If you listen hard enough, you can hear our eyes speak. Our brows weigh heavily with the burden only the passage of time can tell. We often arrive at the farm weak, legs too tired to hold ourselves up, and hearts too broken to take another step. Oh, what any of us would give to be young again. Shielded with ignorance from pain, loneliness, and abandonment that all too often awaits us when we grow older. We are expected to be strong, even through the toughest of times. But eventually, our frail bodies are no longer able to carry those we love, and we depend on the love of others to carry us. Dear person, please hear me. Please find me. Please want me. Please love me. I am waiting. I am waiting for you.
Okay, I said I wouldn't make it. Well, thank you for attending our award ceremony. Please join me in congratulating all the winners. And our next meeting begins at 1 o'clock next door. See you there.